Okay, I just finished editing this Bible video. I'm not gonna lie, that was trash. There was some times I was speaking, it wasn't eligible or listenable, or it was hard to understand what I was even saying. Um, so yeah, this video is pretty trash. If I do say so myself. Not hastily edited too. So just a fair warning. Don't expect anything great in this video. It's pretty bums, bro. See, like I'm doing it again. Bums. All right, so it's Monday. I'm tired. I stayed up late last night playing with Cookie because he's abusive, and if I don't, he'll beat me. So yeah, it is 12/8/25, 1:15 p.m. First reading of the week. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even. What do I even usually say in this part? I forgot. But I don't know. We'll just do the verse of the day. All right, verse of the day for Monday, December 8th, 2025. Therefore, God exalted him that at the name of Jesus every knee shall bow in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue confess to Jesus that Jesus Christ is Lord to the glory of the Father. Or I'm keeping it buck. I don't really quite understand what it means, but that's why there's the dots on today's verse. So I'll read that. Okay, yeah, it's not really like how I was thinking about it. It's more just like that we need to bow down to Jesus Christ, to the glory of God, like it says. And it's just very literal. Like there's no hidden meaning. We just need to bow down every day to the glorious Jesus Christ, to honor his Father's glory. All right, well, I guess that was short and sweet. More time to read. All right, so Joseph went back to his brothers and family's house and said, "Come near to me. I am your brother Joseph, whom you sold into Egypt. And don't be mad at yourself because you sold me there, because God sent me to preserve life." Interesting decision. Bro, this Joseph story is like mad yap pesto. No offense. Shout out Joseph, great human being, but holy. Okay, now we're on Exodus. I just finished Joseph. There wasn't much to talk about because not much happened. Really trying not to fall asleep. Um, no offense, obviously, but this one's called The Birth of Moses. I've definitely heard of Moses a lot, probably the most out of all the people, honestly. Besides like Noah, maybe. No, honestly, more than Noah. But yeah, I've heard of him a lot. Now we're getting into the birth of him. Also, some important context that I should have put before. I should have mentioned before. The Pharaoh commanded all his people, every son that is born to the Hebrews, you shall be cast into the Nile, but you shall let every daughter live. And then this is talking about the woman bore a son, and she had to hide him for 3 months, and that's why I assumed she had to hide him for 3 months, is because he would have been tossed into the Nile if he wasn't hidden. And I assume the baby's Moses. And then when she could hide no longer, she made a basket full of bulrushes and something something. She put the child in it and placed it among the reeds by the riverbank. And then the Pharaoh's daughter found the baby, took pity upon it, and decided to take it for her own. And she named him Moses. Oh shoot, Moses don't play around. He seen an Egyptian beating one of his people, a Hebrew, and he went up behind him and struck him down into the sand. And then when he went out the next day, two Hebrews were fighting together, like fighting against each other, I guess. And he said to the man in the wrong, "Why do you strike your companion? Do you mean to kill me as you killed the Egyptian?" Dang, so he bodied the Egyptian. I didn't even realize that. So then Moses was now afraid because that must mean people know about it. And so the Pharaoh heard of it, and he sought to kill Moses. But Moses fled from Pharaoh and stayed in the land of Midian, and he rested by a well. So by the well there were 7 daughters, and they drew water. Then shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and saved them and watered their flock. And then when they went home, their father, Reuel, asked how they got home so early, and they told him that Moses helped them. And then he told them, "Well, where is he? Why didn't he come?" And then he came, and then Moses was content to dwell with them, and the father gave Moses his daughter Zipporah. She gave birth to his son and called his name Gershom. And then apparently God appeared, and the angel of the Lord appeared, is the exact words, at a flame of fire in a bush. And the bush was burning, but it was not consumed. And this drew Moses' attention. to see why it was not burning. But when the Lord saw that he had turned to see, God called to him and told him that he take his sandals off, for he is on holy ground. And he told him that he's God. And Moses was scared to look at God. It's like it's God, he's holy. And he said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people who are in Egypt, and I've heard their cry because of their taskmasters. I know their suffering, and I have come to deliver out of the hand of the Egyptians. Okay, so basically, God's seen that the people in Egypt were struggling, and he's going to get Moses to go get his good people out of Egypt. And he said, I will be with you. Okay, so God actually did like a freaking movie thing, kind of. He, Moses didn't think that anybody would believe that God appeared to him. So what God did was Moses had a staff in his hand, and he told Moses to let go of the staff, and when he let go, it turned into a snake. And then when he picked the snake back up, it turned into a staff. So that was his proof that he met with God. That's kind of crazy. And then also, he told him to put his hand inside his cloak. And when Moses took it out, his hand was leopard the prouse like snow. I don't know what that really means, but it changed somehow. And then when he put it back in and took it back out, it was back normal. And God said, if they don't believe the first thing, they surely to believe this. And then God said, if they don't believe those two signs, take water from the Nile and pour it on the dry ground, and the water that you shall take from the Nile will become blood on the dry ground. Okay, so they went to the Pharaoh to ask if they could go on the 3-day journey to sacrifice for God. But Pharaoh said no, and instead took away the straw for making bricks, which I didn't know you use straw to make bricks. But he said, "Don't give them any more straw. They can go get it themselves. They need to work harder instead of and maybe they'll stop focusing on God," which is kind of crazy. And he made sure to tell them that just because you don't have straw, you still have to produce the same amount. And if they didn't do it, they were beat, dude. And then they freaking caused like a plague, but like a biblical plague. I always thought that was like made up, but I guess they literally caused one. The Lord told Moses to stretch out his staff and strike the dust of the earth, so that it may become gnats in all the land of Egypt. And at first, I wasn't thinking like gnats, like the bug. I guess that's the only thing it could be. And so he struck the dust of the earth, and all the dust on the earth became gnats and attacked man and beast. And then the magicians tried to do it too, but they could not, so they knew that it must be the finger of God. But Pharaoh's heart was hardened, so he could not listen to them, as the Lord had said. This one's called the fourth plague, flies. I didn't see a first and second. Did I miss it? Like, did I skip the page? No, I did. Okay, so this book's got really thin pages, so I'm gonna have to spin back. All right. So sometimes I like grab 2 pages at once and then and then I skip a page by accident. But it shouldn't be an issue for you because I'm gonna put the third part. All right, Isaac, make sure you do this. Make sure you put this part after what I'm about to read. So then it goes first, second, third. Okay, so it's the God's telling him Pharaoh will not listen to you. Aaron shall tell Pharaoh to let the people of Israel go out of his land, but I will harden Pharaoh's heart. Why does he say I will? Okay, this is interesting. It says he actually gives Pharaoh the courage to remain stubbornly committed to his initial plan. Remarkably, God does not use force to manipulate other people to do his will. Pharaoh is allowed to resist, even with the signs and wonders clearly indicate that such resistance is futile. So, in the end, it kind of makes it sound like there's no point in resisting God, but it also says you have the option to, which is interesting to hear that. I kind of, I don't know if that's like for sure. That kind of is basically saying that you can change fate. So Aaron and Moses went to the Pharaoh, cast down the staff before Pharaoh and his servants, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh summoned the wise men and the sorcerers, and they, the magicians of Egypt, also did the same by their secret arts. For each man cast down his staff, and they became serpents. But Aaron's staff swallowed up their staffs. Still Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and they would not listen to him, as the Lord had said. How the fluff did their things turn into the serpents, though? And then they went to the Nile. In the sight of Pharaoh, in the sight of his servants, he lifted up the staff, struck the water in the Nile, and all the water in the Nile turned into blood. And the fish died, the Nile stank, and the Egyptians could not drink from it. And there was blood throughout all of Egypt. And it also says, but the magicians of Egypt did the same by their secret arts. But how could they do that if it's already got blood in it? I don't understand that. But then Pharaoh turned around and went to his house, did not even take this one to his heart. And 7 days passed after the Lord had struck the Nile. Okay, and this is the second plague, frogs. I guess that whole thing was the first one. Oh, water turned to blood was the first one. I didn't see that. Dude, I'm just missing everything. Bro. Frogs rain, that myth about frogs raining from the sky, bro, is from the Bible. Dude, this is crazy how much stuff like in culture is from the Bible. The Nile shall swarm with frogs that shall come up to into your house and into your bedroom and on your bed and into the houses of your servants and your people and into the ovens of your kneading bowls. So basically get attacked by a bunch of frogs. And summon them. And then the magicians did the same by their secret arts. How are the magicians doing it? Like without God. Okay, so I think the Pharaoh said that asked Moses to get the frogs away, and then Moses did that. And then it says Pharaoh saw that there was a respite. He hardened his heart and would not listen to him as the Lord had said. And then we go into the third plague with the gnats. And then we start the fourth plague tomorrow. All right. Now we're on the fourth plague, flies. Ew. Okay, so the Lord tells Moses to tell the Pharaoh, if you don't let my people go to serve me, he will send swarms of flies on him and his servants and into the houses. And the houses shall be filled with swamps of flies. And on that day, the land of Goshen will be set apart where his people dwell, and no swarms of flies will be there. And that's how you know the Lord is in the midst of the earth. And the Lord did so. The flies came. Okay, so basically, the Pharaoh said, all right, I'll let you guys go sacrifice. Just get these flies out of here. And then they got the flies out of there. And the Pharaoh hardened his heart again and said, nah, I was just joking. And he didn't let the people go. Crazy. This guy is not to be trusted. The fifth plague, Egyptian livestock die. He says, let my people go, serve me, so they can serve me. If you refuse to let them go and hold them, the hand of the Lord will fall, a very severe plague upon your livestock that are in the field. It will all die. And the Lord will know the difference between the livestock of Israel and the livestock of Egypt. And he still didn't let the people go. Bro, this guy's a stubborn dude. Sixth plague, boils. What is boils? Okay, so they took soup from a kiln and stood before the Pharaoh. Moses threw it in the air, and it became boils breaking out in spores on man and beast. God, that would, I mean, God, well, literally God. But that would hurt. The magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils. The Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not listen to them, as the Lord had spoken to Moses. The seventh plague, hail. Okay, so this time, he's going to send all the plagues on him himself, and his servants and his people, so that you may know that there is none like me in all the earth. He's going to make heavy, very heavy hail to fall, such as never been in Egypt from the day it was founded until now. Every man and beast that is not in the field and brought home will die when the hail falls upon them. Whoever did not pay attention to the word of the God left his slaves and his livestock in the field. Dang, there's even more plagues. I thought it would just be 7. The Lord sent thunder and hail, and fire ran down to the earth. Struck down every plant, every tree. But this guy's a switch up crazy. He asked Moses to make it stop, and he'd let them go again. And he freaking hardened his heart again and said no. This is crazy. Like at some point you just got to know he's gonna do it again and again. Always keep saying, I have hardened his heart and the heart of his servants. I don't quite understand what that means. This is what's called the eighth plague, locust. Okay, so they threaten him with the locust, and they should fill everybody and eat everybody. Oh, so now the servants are saying to the Pharaoh, how long will you let this go on? And then, of course, they summon the locust because he's not listening. And the locusts eat all the plants in the land, all that the hail has left. Okay, I got another question. What the heck is a locust? Probably could Google that, but I'm lazy. Okay, so the Pharaoh begs for mercy again, like for like the 8th time, bro. And of course, they went out from the Pharaoh and pleaded with the Lord, and the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not let the people of Israel go. Okay, the ninth plague, this one's short. It's called darkness. Okay, this one doesn't. This time he's not. He doesn't go to the Pharaoh and tell him what's going to happen. At least it doesn't say that he did. And there was pitch darkness in all the land for 3 days. Okay, and then the same thing happened again, where the Pharaoh said, "I'll please have mercy, and then I'll let you guys go." And then he doesn't let them go. Then Pharaoh said to him, "Get away from me. Take care never to see my face again. For on the day you see my face, you shall die." Moses said, "As you say, I will not see your face again." Okay, a final plague threatened. This one's called. So maybe they don't. Maybe it's over for that this part. All right, we'll read that next time. I just wanted to read all the plagues.